Good evening and welcome to the June Lake Mills Board of Education meeting. Our mission statement is preparing all today's students for tomorrow's opportunities. So can we rise and say the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Dawn Delaney.
Here.
Rachel Davies.
Here.
Robert Tempero.
Here.
Donna Thomas.
Here.
Richard Mason.
Here. Verification of meeting notice.
Yes, it was submitted to the agenda was submitted to the Lake Mills Leader and posted at the Lake Mills Library, Lake Mills Post Office, and at the Bank of Lake Mills. It was also posted on the district website.
Okay, thank you. Agenda revisions. We're going to delete L, as in little, and then I'll accept a motion.
I move to approve the agenda as revised.
Second?
Moving to second to approve agenda with the revision of the deletion of L. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Same sign. All right. Community input.
Ms. Sandy
Everybody?
Whistler is here this evening.
State your name, address.
Okay.
I'm Sandy
What else you
Whistler.
want to tell us?
Well, I think I'll just give you my name and address. How's
Okay,
that?
okay.
Sandy Whistler, 303 Moss Street, here in Lake Mills. And I'm here tonight on behalf of Citizen Advocates for Public Education, also known as CAPE here in town. CAPE is part of the Wisconsin Public Education Network, which is an informal, nonpartisan alliance of parents, educators, school board members, administrators, school districts, and advocacy groups all over Wisconsin. For the past 2 summers, the network has hosted a summer summit, a gathering of these advocates from around the state. 2 years ago, the summer summit was held in Middleton. Last year, it was held in Wauwatosa. And this year, CAPE is pleased to be hosting the summer summit here in Lake Mills. I want to extend an invitation to each of you as members of our local school board and to all citizens in Lake Mills to attend this event. The summit is going to take place at the Lake Mills High School on Wednesday, August 9th. The day will begin at 9 o'clock in the morning with opening activities, including a welcome by Pam, and also thoughts from Dr. Tony Evers, who will be present for the day. Following the welcome, there will be breakout sessions featuring a variety of topics, from School Budget 101 to using social media, forming a local advocacy group, urban and rural issues in education, federal education issues, and many more topics. Of special interest this year, the summit is going to feature the Wisconsin premiere of the documentary Backpack Full of Cash. Sarah Mondale and Vera Arano, director and producers of the movie, are going to be present to lead a discussion. Backpack Full of Cash explores the growing privatization of public schools. It's narrated by Matt Damon, and it examines the growth of market-based education reforms, such as privately run charter schools, student testing, and vouchers, and their impact on America's most vulnerable children. We had hoped we could get Matt Damon's mom to come to be present at the summit, but we weren't able to do it this year. We will have the movie, and we'll have a discussion of the movie following its showing. Registration information is being prepared and will be available in the next couple of weeks. And I will send that to you when it's ready. And if anyone listening is interested in attending, you can contact CAPE at our email address, citizensforpubliced@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to send you registration information. The summit promises to be an informative and inspiring event. I know that people who have attended in the past couple of years have had a great opportunity to network with other public education advocates and to learn a lot about current educational issues. So I hope that you'll be able to attend. And please let me know if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer them now, but also be looking for registration information in the next couple of weeks.
Good. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you.
Dr. Delaney, correspondence.
Yes.
turning them around here. There are 2 items this month. One is from the family of Marion Weber, thanking us for the beautiful plant. And the second is from the Wisconsin Veterans Museum Foundation. And I will read the letter. Dear friends, on behalf of the Wisconsin Veterans Museum Foundation, I extend a sincere thank you for your thoughtful contributions of $100 received on 5/16/17. As you know, contributions to the foundation further the museum's mission, to bring the history of Wisconsin veterans to the public through its programs, exhibits, and collections. The continued support of individuals like you ensures the museum's success in providing meaningful education to the more than 30,000 students and 90,000 visitors that enter our doors each year. The Wisconsin Veterans Museum Foundation is a 501c3 charitable corporation, and as such, your contribution is tax exempt. For tax purposes, please consider this letter confirmation, and thank you for honoring Wisconsin's veterans. Sincerely, Eileen Newcomer, Membership and Annual Gifts Director. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, Shelby, you're going to follow me up here.
All right.
All right. I want to recognize Shelby for representing the students, the high school, throughout the school year on the school board, and we have a plaque for him tonight, and it says Shelby Riggleman, in appreciation for your dedicated service to the Lake Mills Area School District Board of Education 2016-2017. So congratulations,
Thank you very much.
Shelby. Now you get to say, what did you learn from this whole experience?
All right. Well, it's certainly been a very unique and honor to be here every month, and it's really just shown me all the intricacies that goes on behind the scenes and all the people that are caring for the students, and it really are genuinely pushing for these kids to succeed. And it's just been kind of eye-opening in that regard, and definitely something I'll remember. So thank you for that opportunity.
Thanks for your. Now you can put the plaque with all the rest of your awards that you got over the last 4 years and so on.
Oh, yeah.
So in a special place of recognition, right?
Definitely.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about CISA 2 annual reorganization meeting. They call it the annual convention. And basically, we get together all these districts that are found in CISA 2. And we're put in cluster H. And that cluster has Cambridge, Jefferson, Johnson Creek, Watertown, and ourselves. And the whole idea is we have to pick a representative to go to their regular monthly meetings at CISA 2. Now, here's the problem. We didn't come up with one, the representatives that were there. So we decided to go back to our full boards and ask if anyone would want to represent our particular cluster on the monthly meetings of CISA 2. So I bring that up to you. It meets the third Tuesday of the month, and we need one representative out of that cluster. So I'm going to give you time to think about that. Don't, you can certainly call or let Pam know, and I'm sure the phone will be ringing out the hook. But if anybody wants to represent that group, that particular group, you're more than welcome. All right, Mr. Vogel.
High school, completing, my first year, completing graduation the previous couple of weeks. So I want to give a big thank you to the board for the air conditioning. A lot of compliments on that. This was freezing. It was very comfortable hour and a half there, and pretty awesome ceremony. And again, thank you for your attendance. Awesome. Staff, students, very busy with exams, grading, spring sports, and a lot of the other end of the year activities, but at the same time also preparing for next year already. Because if you came in the front, if you saw the gym or see the trailer up in front, I would say about 95% of the floor is out already, and we're going to start painting tomorrow parts of the gym. So that's well underway. Also, as a leadership team and staff, continue to work with PBS, getting that ready for next year. A number of student videos that are very well done, ready for our implementation kickoff in the fall. Grading practices review, I hope to have something official to you guys for July. Just trying to put some finishing touches on that document. Again, professional development for August and for the next school year. Bringing back Garth Larson again for, again, continuing that message about consistent student feedback. A speaker in a workshop concerning LGBTQ and student trauma, the effects of student trauma. We're going to work on that during our in-service time. And also a lot of our staff doing summer curriculum work, and a number of conferences going on as well. So end of the year, but again, it's you know, start looking towards August, the last several weeks. So additional student organization that is going to be with us next year is called SCAPE, kind of piggybacking on the community's CAPE. SCAPE meaning Student Citizens Advocating for Public Education. And Ms. Sweeney is going to be the advisor for that. And again, the idea of supporting and advocating for public education from a student lens, which I think is kind of neat. I think we'll be one of the first ones in the state of Wisconsin with a club like that. So that will be, I think, our number up to 32 clubs next year. Well, that's it for me, but I do have a special guest tonight, Dr. Elaine Bauman from Advanced Ed. I'd like to call her up.
And I come bearing gifts.
All right.
Sure. Well, I'll start right off with this. I'm Elaine Bauman. I'm the State Operations Manager for Advanced Ed Wisconsin, and it is my pleasure this evening to present a plaque to recognize Lake Mills High School for 100 years of participation with continuous accreditation with Advanced Ed, North Central Accreditation, or North Central Association and Commission for Accreditation and School Improvement. And since this is a 100-year plaque, just a little historical background may be in order here. Accreditation is a voluntary mark of excellence where a school or a system agrees to abide by standards of best practice for the school in order to improve student achievement. In roughly the middle 1800s, colleges and universities were complaining, does this sound familiar, about schools not preparing students for higher education. And in the Northeast, a commission was formed to establish what would be required or expected of students who wanted to attend higher ed. And out of that organization came an accreditation for schools, high schools, the first time that was used as a term. And in 1885, the first accreditation organization was formed in the northeast part of the country. In 1895, North Central Accreditation, the organization in our part of the country, was formed or joined also in establishing standards for schools and for schools preparing students for universities. Hence, the NCA accreditation process was born. So here we are. This says that Lake Mills High School has been recognized as accredited by an independent accrediting organization since 1917. So I'm going to present this to Mr. Vogel. And also present you with this banner that we hope you will proudly display, along with the plaque that recognizes you as a centennial school. And then just as a little side note, this coming year is the year that Lake Mills goes through its accreditation review again. Accreditation requires that schools open themselves up every 5 years and shows how they are meeting the standards, the best practices in education, and how and a group of their peers and trained evaluators come in and take a look at how well the school is meeting its goals for continuous improvement and meeting standards of best practice. So I think you should commend yourselves. This is not a small task, and leaving yourself open to review is a very forward-thinking and forward-looking way of measuring your school improvement. So I want to congratulate you tonight, all of you. So,
Thank you.
she's taller than I am here.
Hold it there for a picture.
It's like there's, I tell you what, you take the plaque.
Okay.
I will hold the banner.
There you go.
Okay, thank you.
Good,
And
thank you very-
congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
Where is it, right here?
All right, Mrs. Bauer, can you make it to the mic?
All right, I'm going to address the elephant in the room right away. I broke my foot jump roping. And I just went to the podiatrist today, and it's going to be 12 weeks of this. And we were in the escape room, and I didn't even have my cast on, thinking it would be a couple of weeks. So no luck there. But so I would like to run over just a couple of things that end of the year. I think after our last board meeting, we had the band concert, which was very impressive. Just the number of students. It's a real marker of the growth that we've seen in the district and how important the arts are. So I appreciate all the conductors putting that together, because that's quite a task. We had our 8th grade recognition ceremony. I broke my foot last Tuesday, but everything went off without a hitch, except the smoke alarm went off because of the smoke machine at the middle school. But I was able to function, and I do have to tell Cale, if he hasn't heard it already, just an amazing group of 8th graders. I think every year I'm here, the quality that we send to the high school is higher and higher. So. And in terms of teaching staff, I had 14 teachers that needed a summative review this year. I meet with them for anywhere between an hour and 2 each to go over their goals for the year. And we had some amazing SLOs and amazing growth. The teachers are really still embracing that process and are really using it to understand students and their practice a lot more. So appreciate all the work that went into that. And then because dancing all night and standing up for speeches at 8th grade graduation wasn't enough, Melissa and I hosted the staff picnic and cooked burgers and brats for the staff, and the staff brought food up at Korth Park. I've been out there sledding and I've run through that park, but boy, it was a beautiful day on Friday. Lake Mills is so fortunate to, you look at how beautiful the schools are and you forget how beautiful the lake is sometimes, and all the natural beauty that's also around Lake Mills. So we had a great time doing that. This summer, we will be working on finishing our handbook. The student services team and I have really dove into some of the procedures in there, so we will be working on that. And despite our best efforts, we still have 6th grade schedules to finish, so we will be working on that. Hopefully get that done once the system is back up and running. couple of things for next year. We will, just so you know, in case it comes your way, we are adopting a new math materials, CPM, which is a project-based math. So as we adopt those new materials, we are not doing acceleration in 7th grade for next year because we feel that the new materials, along with Alex, provide enough differentiation in the classroom that we do not need to accelerate in 7th grade. There'll still be the option in 8th grade to take the algebra curriculum, but moving into 7th grade, those students will not have that option. They will stay all as one math class for 7th grade. And in terms of the schedule, next year, just because of the growth, we just keep growing and growing. We will have 4 lunches next year. Each grade level will have their own lunch and their own recess. We have moved that Flex-a-Schedule time that we had over recess into the morning. So our schedule lines up exactly with the high school with a homeroom and Flex-a-Schedule time from 9:30 to 10 like the high school does it. So in case you get any questions around that, you know that's a change we've made as well. Any questions for me?
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Ms. Brown, come on down.
Part of my task this year was to head up the K-12 PBIS team, so I thought I'd give you just a little glimpse into what PBIS is and where each of the buildings are at. So PBIS stands for Positive Behavioral Interventions and Supports. It's an evidence-based practice with 3 tiers, and each tier takes about 3 to 5 years to reach fidelity. Tier 1 focuses on all of the students and universal practices, and this is where the high school and the middle school will be focusing in our next couple of years. Tier 2 focuses on smaller groups of students, and the elementary school has been focusing on that the last couple of years. And then Tier 3 focuses on the individual students. The elementary school just finished up with Tier 2 training this past fall, and the middle school and high school teams has had 3 of the 4 days of training this past year, and will finish up with day 4 in the fall. And all 3 school teams will be preparing for next year. I know Mr. Vogel referenced that, but with many of our school team members working over the summer to get ready for our implementation in the fall. And then I also wanted to talk to you about summer school. So summer school starts on Thursday. Teachers and staff have been actively preparing for this day for months, and the final crunch is just this last few days. So I just thought I'd give you some highlights. We have almost 800 students with current schedules, and then this number will continue to grow throughout the summer as other activities occur, such as band and link crew and FFA and that Washington, D.C. trip that just left today. So as those complete throughout the summer, that enrollment number will continue to grow. We have over 75 teachers and staff that are prepared to teach and support our students this summer. And with the new structure, students from grades 4K through 12, if you combine their choices, they have close to 300 class choices this summer. And the feedback that we've gotten from students and families and staff is that they're very excited for this new structure and all of our class options this year.
Questions? Anybody? Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Mrs. Siverud.
Good evening. It's been a very busy month. One update I want to make before you guys are going to look at the contract tonight for RLAC, and that is part of the transition program planning that we have been doing. So that's on your agenda for later tonight. But that's been a wonderful process. I've been working more. Brian Kinney came down again this last month, who is the transition program person for CISA 2 and CISA 3, and we were just talking through. I took him on a tour of RLAC, and he was like, this is the best facility ever for this program, because how it plays into what we want the kids to be able to do with the rec and leisure goals, with the vocational goals, with the cooking facilities, and with the classroom being right there. So I was like, yeah, I'm bringing you to this building that's kind of not the most optimal building, but he was like, this is awesome. So that was really a nice thing to hear from him. And he's going to continue to work with us and the new teacher that comes on board when we get her hired or him hired, or however that plays out. Okay, the other thing that you have is attached to your board docs is the academic career plan documentation. Every school district is required to develop an academic career plan by the state law. And what we have done is taken the model state plan and put that into a plan for each grades 6 through 12. And you'll see that the state purchased career cruising as a program that allows kids to explore their interests, their different careers, and a whole boatload of stuff to help them be better prepared when they leave school to make a career choice. And some, as you know, some careers lead to a 2-year technical school, some careers lead to a 4-year school, some career choices go right to work or military. And the whole point of the plan is for students to leave here knowing that their education counts towards that career, that you don't start that once you leave high school, that you're really working towards that. So you'll see components in the plan. You'll see like complete the learning styles inventory, complete the matchmaker and my skills. All of that is included in career cruising. So all these tasks that are in here are part of the career cruising. The students will be working towards building their portfolio within career cruising, and eventually the whole portfolio process will transfer over to this. The program is really significant in the fact that it allows us to send transcripts to colleges through that program for free. So kids won't have to pay for transcripts. Things like that are really awesome for them. So our team, and Diane Sweeney and Ashley Stewart really led the teams at each of the schools, so I owe them a debt of gratitude for how much work they put into this. But they also worked with teachers who volunteered for the committee at each school. And then we presented it in May. Actually, it was right before the board meeting in May that we presented it to we invited business partners from the Lake Mills community to come talk to us. And our goal is to eventually really work more in partnership with the businesses here. They want kids to do job shadowing and see what careers, visit different careers at different stages in their life. So lots of good work going on there. Any questions about this?
Okay.
That's all I have tonight.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Brockert.
Hi. Well, first of all, I'm really excited to be back in Lake Mills, and I've been jumping right in and doing all kinds of activities, which I'll share some of it. The first item under my reports is the middle school technology Chromebook project. And I know we have Chris Zerniak here. He was one of the committee members, as well as Jen Bauer and Stephanie Unertl. Is that how I say her name? Thank you. So I hope there was an attachment, and I hope you had an opportunity to look at the attachment. We tried to lay out a plan, rolling it out. We reevaluated the cost of a lease versus the district outright purchasing, and we feel we can purchase the equipment, but we've also laid out a plan where as a family could own the piece of equipment after 4 years, or after, we transitioned it in as it's worded. So after 1 year, they'd pay more to get up to that $200 cost of the Chromebook. I'm not sure.
Jen, do you want to speak more to that, maybe? Chris, come on up.
Yeah.
And so the idea is primarily around student ownership. What we've noticed over the last couple of years, and if you've ever walked through the middle school, you would see $15,000 worth of Chromebooks sitting on top of lockers and different things. And so as a committee, I said we have to have, as we look at developing this, what is our focus? And it was really to create some student ownership for their devices. A lot of times they belong to the school and we don't own them, so they tend to get broken and different things, and kids get a replacement at no cost to them. So that was our primary focus in developing this plan, was to make sure that students had some kind of ownership. The actual devices will be more like $400. So I had some really great feedback from different people, and one of the things was, well, why would you want to own a 4-year device for $400 at the end of it? But as we talked as a team, they'll get a $400 device for $200 at the end of it, offsetting some of the costs, but primarily creating some ownership for the students around those devices, which they haven't had in the past. Anything you want to add, Chris?
In the plan too, we laid out if they don't want to pay the $50, how that approach would be too. That was laid out.
Right.
If they don't pay the $50 each year, they have that option. They don't have to, and own it at the end. There is there's
an opt-out piece, but we're strongly encouraging parents to take advantage of this process. Yeah.
And we try to answer the commonly asked questions under the frequently asked question area on this document as well.
Yep. Do you have any questions for me? I
I
can
have one
probably
question.
answer. Yeah.
Do I understand that we currently have an annual technology fee?
I'm not sure if it's been passed by the board, but it has not.
It has.
It has.
Passed by
So that will be new for next year. It'll be a small fee of $10 for across the district.
Except for these kids.
Except for these
What are
kids.
they going to have to pay?
They have the $50 or the 10.
$50?
So it's either 50 or 10
Right.
if they do not take the Chromebook.
Right.
Can they bring their own then, if they don't use? Are you requiring
or-
a Chromebook?
We will let them check out devices like the high school does, but we're not letting them bring their own device at the middle school because of the different programs and things that we need to use with them. So we're not allowing them to bring their own device at the middle school. But we will have devices available for checkout
On a daily basis.
on a daily basis.
So they'd leave it here or at the middle school, and then in the morning they would check it out again.
Yeah.
Is that what you do currently, isn't it?
No.
What? No?
No, they take them.
Take it home?
They take it home all the time. Yeah, they have that device for 3 years. We only collect, or 4 years. 3 years because we are just starting it in 5th grade. So they had their devices for 3 years. That's how long the lease was, and then they just turn their Chromebook back in.
So if they don't buy it for $50, but they check it out for 10, they can't take it home.
Correct.
But there's an option, if they needed to take one home, it said in the documentation that they would have other devices available for them, an older model or whatever, for them to check
that
out
they
for the
could take
evening.
home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are your new math books online?
Yep. Everything is
I
well,
know
and
this.
there's materials as well. But what we've done what's happened is that the students that want to take, so we really end up with one classroom set. You used to end up with 150 books, but now we're purchasing more like 30 books because that's the number that would get checked out or used for the kids who have. That's what we've found over the years, that kids that prefer the hard copy. It's about one classroom set covers what the students need there.
In the old days, schools used to provide textbooks to students. But it sounds to me like now the computer is the textbook. And is that right, would you say, or no?
There's multiple options. I mean, we really do try
Provide
to.
them with the
Was that-
tool. That's our primary teaching tool, is that right? I don't know, I'm using
Yeah.
textbooks.
So I was asked that question, and I kind of look at it like more like university textbook purchasing, because you get to keep it at the end. That's the huge difference. You get to keep it at the end. So when you buy university textbooks, you keep the textbooks at the end. When you pay this $50 fee, you get to keep the Chromebook at the end. That's the difference. Does that make sense?
And all students would still have access to Chromebooks.
To take home.
If they need to check them out,
Yeah.
yes, they would be available for those who want to check out.
Has thought been given to that process, all those kids who need to run out to catch the bus or whatever, the checkout process? So you check it out in the morning, you return it in the afternoon, at the end of school, but you need to take one home, so then you need to check out this other device. Has that kind of been talked about?
We didn't talk about it as a committee. That would be my expectation. Would be that Stephanie Unerdl would develop that process depending on what she was noticing as needs and what kind of feedback she got. How many kids were checking them out? I mean, we have no idea what the outcome. I mean, truly will be yet. If it's 1 or 2 kids or if it'll be 25 kids, we don't know. So I trust her to develop that process as the needs develop.
One of the things that we did talk about is having, how we have teaching assistants from the high school that go to the different buildings. I heard her put in requests for first hour and fourth hour teaching assistants from the high school that she hasn't asked for in the past to help with that. Check in and check out.
Okay.
And we have done that in the past. We've had probably a dozen students that needed to do that per parent request. So, and it's never become an issue like they've missed the bus because they've had to turn in their device. Either if they've got an elective at the end of the day where they don't need it, or they turn it in to the teacher as they drop off the book and the teacher takes it to the library, or the teacher does a checkout. It just depends. I mean, fifth grade had their own devices and had them check in and check out every day. And they just developed the system based on what the fifth grade looked like, so.
Will we have like this kind of information, because this is a new process, there's going to be a lot of educating parents.
Yes.
And like, I'd hate to get to the end of it if this is the way we're going to go. And, my son or my daughter, whatever, was in school for 2 years. I paid that $50 fee. I didn't realize, are we going to make sure we document kind of like in many places, even like on the, Skyward, you know what I mean? So you can kind of see and then you can point to that, well, it was here and we told you here.
Yeah, and we haven't, because we've been primarily developing this piece of it and not sure the direction the board was going to take on it, we haven't taken all the steps to develop all the processes if this plan was approved. So are we going to get blown out of here?
Just so you know, we are monitoring the weather, and we're still in a watch. It's not a warning yet, so.
Okay.
Just okay.
Crazy, do you want to?
I just want
we have really worked with Wendy about keeping track of that in Skyward, and what we have talked about for kids who move in or kids who are short term, that $200 price is kind of the ticket so that you can own it. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you move in 8th grade and you just pay $50, but you want to take that device with you when you leave, then you would have to pay that extra $150. So you're really getting a $50 or a $400 machine for $200. $200 will always be the price, I guess, that we're.
Yeah. So it depends if you pay for it over 4 years, like if you came in as a 5th grader, or if you came in as a 7th or 8th grader, you still would pay the $200 to take the machine when you leave.
And I don't know that we've talked about if you came in 5th and 6th grade, left after 6th grade, can you pay the $100 to take the device with you when you leave at the end of 6th grade? I don't know that we ever went that direction with it. Do you remember if we did it?
Anna?
I'm going to just ask a rather facetious question. Do we make our students pay for their football uniforms or their basketball uniforms?
Well, they pay a $50 fee for participation in athletics.
Why would
every
we
year.
ask them to buy a computer?
They don't have to buy. They don't have to buy the computer.
Okay.
They don't have to buy
And they'll get
it.
a computer.
They will be able to use a computer
during the day.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right, Chris, you want to add anything to that or not, or just?
It was all covered quite well.
Oh, thanks.
I mean, I know the textbook thing has been brought up before, and if you think of a computer as a tool to access textbooks, we're providing the textbooks as a school. You can access them via the machine that we give you or the machine at home, depending on the licensing of the agreement with the textbook company. So it's not like they're buying a new textbook. We're basically taking all our textbooks, shoving them into a nice program, and giving them a computer to access those textbooks by.
Right. It's not that the textbook is downloaded on that device per se. You can access all of our programs from any device.
They'll all get a computer whether they pay anything or not. That's really what you're saying.
At school, yes.
Yeah, so they'll be able to check one in and check one out.
We just had this conversation about lunch, so it's good.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Now, what else you got for us?
As you know, I've just jumped right in since I've been here at the beginning of May, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. In addition to the trying to close up the books this summer and going through the audit, I did learn that we are due for an OPEB report, a study that we have to do every 2 years, and so I'm wish it was started sooner, but I'm jumping right in to try to get that done over the summer. And we're working with Key Benefit Concepts, who you're very familiar with. They've done all our other OPEBS reports. And then I also would like to try to set a meeting in June, a second meeting in June, to review and approve a preliminary budget so that we can take talk that budget to the annual meeting on July 24th. If we wait until July 10th, there isn't enough time to publish it in the newspaper twice before the annual meeting. So I don't know if that's something you decide later on the meeting.
No, we can do
on
that
the
right
agenda,
now.
But
Let's do that right now and get that on the calendar. You got your calendar with you? Do you have your calendar?
Somebody said the 26th, the last Monday.
26th. It's okay with me.
what time?
Time?
Did you want to start earlier than normal?
Like 6?
6 is fine.
It's 6? That's okay? All right. Let's do it. 6 o'clock, the 26th for budget update.
And approval.
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 Maybe adding some other items to that as well.
Okay, 26, good. Anything else?
No.
All right, Mrs. Strike.
Okay, I'd like to start with the elementary report. Ms. Thompson couldn't be here tonight, so I have some notes from her. And she says, our PTO sponsored a book fair that raised $8,000 in profits to support purchasing new books for our classrooms. A special thanks to Ms. Nichols for her long hours of organizing the fair. Lego Night was a big hit for families and students. We built a Lego city using a variety of creations, including stores, schools, nursing homes, hospitals, and vet clinics. A special thanks to the Optimist Club, the Lake Mills Wellness Coalition, and Ford Healthcare for organizing the bike safety lessons for our students, our Bike to School Day, and the Bike Rodeo. The Lake Mills Wellness Coalition sponsored a school garden cleanup in May, and elementary students have been busy planting and watering in preparation for the summer growing season. Look for details regarding our harvest party in September. Produce from the garden will be once again used for our school lunch program in the fall. During May, I completed my final book club with fourth graders. Throughout the year, I had lunch and a book conversation with every fourth grade student. We enjoyed sharing our joy of reading over a great meal. Our 4K students joined our kindergarten students for Transition Day in May. They had fun learning about the big school with their kindergarten mentors. Fourth grade students took a trip to the middle school to learn the ropes there with the staff and students. This week, I closed out the school year by meeting one-to-one with all teachers to discuss an area of success from the year, a goal for next year, and ways they can continue to be supported as educators in our school. And finally, the Greater Watertown Community Health Foundation awarded the Lake Mills Elementary School $3,000 to provide mindfulness opportunities for our students each morning before school. 4 staff members will be trained in in mindfulness fundamentals and educator essentials in a 12-week online course. Additional staff members will participate in a 1-day mindfulness workshop provided by the Greater Watertown Community Health Foundation. So lots going on there. Okay. Attached in your board doc is the end of the year nursing report. It's very comprehensive. It talks about every single statistic about the number of visits to offices, the number of wellness checks, the number of vision checks, all the information, and it's very comprehensive. Ms. Zastro provides that for you each year, and if you have any questions about that, just make sure that you get in contact with me and I can help you find any answers. Just some reminders. We just set that meeting for June 26th, and then Monday, July 10th will be our Finance Committee again and our regular board meeting, and then it's time to talk budget hearing and annual meeting, and that will be the 4th Monday in July, which is July 24th. We interviewed 7 candidates this past week for the Pupil Services Secretary position. That was Mary Schultz's position. She'll be retiring as of June 30th. And we have selected Miss Andrea Phillipson for that position. I share that with you in this report because that would be a lateral move for her. She's already a Secretary 1, so there's no need to approve a new contract for her. She's moving over into that. So we're very, very happy that she has chosen to seek that position with us. And because of that, now there will be an opening at the elementary school. So we'll post that, and we also needed to talk about who will become the summer school secretary. And Ms. Julie Massey at the high school is interested in that position, and we think that she has all the skills necessary to be the summer school secretary. So in an upcoming meeting, that would be a change, and so I'll be bringing that for your approval for a letter of assignment to change her from a secretary 2 to a secretary 1, so that she can work throughout the summer and the whole year, actually, on summer school.
Okay, any questions? All right, let's move on to the action items. First one is approval of May 8th, regular Board of Education meeting, the minutes.
I'll move the board approve the minutes of the May 8, 2017 regular Board of Education meeting.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded to approve the board meeting. Any questions on those? Roll call, please.
Don Delaney.
Aye.
Rachel Davies.
Aye.
Robert Temperio.
Aye.
Donna Thomas.
Aye.
Richard Mason.
Aye, and that passes unanimously. Approval of the Finance Committee proceedings.
I'll move the board approve the proceedings of the May 8, 2017 Finance Committee meeting.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the Finance Committee proceedings of May 8th. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Rachel Davies.
Aye.
Robert Temperio.
Aye.
Donna Thomas.
Aye.
Don Delaney.
Aye.
Richard Mason.
Aye, and that passes unanimously. Approval of vouchers and invoices.
I move the board approve the vouchers and invoices in the amount of $1,349,728.73 for the month of May 2017.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve vouchers and invoices. Any questions on those? Roll call, please.
Robert Temperio.
Aye.
Donna Thomas.
Aye.
Don Delaney.
Aye.
Rachel Davies.
Aye.
Richard Mason.
Aye, and that passes unanimously. Approval of open enrollment waiver request to DPI.
As we've talked about at 2 meetings now, we would like to submit a letter to the Department of Public Instruction through JEDI, Dr. Leslie Steinhaus, and she's here this evening if you have any questions. We discussed this letter last week. It was posted for public input for the last month. We did not receive any, and so I'd ask for your approval of that letter so that we can get that to the DPI this week.
Okay, a motion, please?
I move the board approve the submission of the open enrollment waiver request to the Department of Public Instruction.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded to approve the open enrollment waiver. Questions for Leslie at all? Chance to read the waiver letter? None. We haven't approved it yet. It's coming. Any questions at all? All right, roll call, please.
Donna Thomas.
Aye.
Don Delaney.
Aye.
Rachel Davies.
Aye.
Robert Temperio.
Aye.
Richard Mason.
Aye, and that is approved unanimously. Now, Leslie.
Again, I just want to thank you. It's been kind of a long process. We've jumped some hoops now. It goes to DPI and we kind of wait on that. But it'll be nice because it'll allow us, if they approve, to separate in January. When you approving your open enrollment, kind of get those separate things, separate waiting lists, and sort of end some of the confusion, and allow us to be able to take alternate open enrollment all year around. But having said that, also we'll still set limits. It's not like it's whoever shows up and takes stuff. We'll still set our limits based on what we decide to do in January. But I do think we can help us as we move forward. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for coming, Leslie.
The weather's still holding up there.
Yeah, it's still
It's
out
only
there.
for 4 more hours.
I think I'll be home by then.
Okay, approval of our RELAC lease agreement for the 2017-18 school year.
As Ms. Seaverud mentioned, we have come to an agreement with Rock Lake Activity Center to house our new transition program there. There's a lot of great possibilities there, and This is at no charge to us in exchange for the activities that the students will be doing there and some of the jobs training skills they'll be able to practice there. So it's a real win-win, I think, for both organizations.
Motion, please.
I move the board approve the Rock Lake Activity ASP lease agreement for the 2017-18 school year.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the lease agreement with the Rock Lake Activity Center. Questions?
I have a comment. In reading the lease, I noticed that the term is open-ended. And it would be my suggestion that the term be for the 17-18 school year and that it be evaluated. I know that it is indicated that it's at no cost to us, but I'm not sure that that's the most fair thing in the world to the activity center. So, you know, there's not a lot of places you get free rent. So I think that it would be, to me, I could support this if there was an ability to review it after the first year to figure out if that still makes sense for everybody that's participating. It's my understanding that this year, that the proposed year, that there's a small number of students. That number of students may change over time.
Yes.
And again, this document goes on longer than I'm going to. So that would be my suggestion.
Do you want to make an amendment?
I would offer an amendment that the lease, that the proposed lease be for the 2017-2018 school year.
And also evaluated? You want to add that too?
Pardon?
And also evaluated?
I think there's provisions in here already to evaluate, but there's no consequence or time limit to that evaluation. And so both the district and the activity center will discuss it, but there's no outcome.
Okay.
So
basically, the amendment is to terminate at the end of 17-18 school year.
For 1 year, yeah.
For 1 year. Any questions?
Who made the second? Will they accept that?
Did somebody second that?
Second.
Okay.
You made the original second?
I think so.
So we voted on the amendment?
You accept that?
You voted on the amendment. Roll call, please.
Don Delaney.
Aye.
Rachel Davies.
Aye.
Robert D'Imperio.
Aye.
Donna Thomas.
Aye.
Richard Mason.
Aye. So the amendment passes unanimously. Now we go back to the original motion, which is to approve the Rock Lake lease agreement. So,
I have a question. You said when you introduced it that there were a lot of advantages of us being there. What kind of are they?
Our advantage,
Yeah.
the advantages to us?
To us, other than it being free. It was a pretty old building.
Jamie, you want to come up and say that again? There are 4 pillars of a transition program. Recreation, so there is the weight room, the gym, the
Okay.
cardio room, and all those kinds of things. There is a commercial, is that considered a commercial kitchen there?
Yeah, it's been updated, so it's a commercial kitchen, so they can learn their cooking skills, their life skills are there. We will be doing jobs for the RLAC site. We'll be doing their laundry, we'll be doing some of their cleaning for them, which are all daily living skills that kids have to learn, like that are pretty much part of a transition program. So they learn their life skills there. We will have use of the gym. We will have use of the weight room, the bike room, like all of their facilities right there. So that works well. The other huge advantage is that it's only a block away from downtown, that it's in walking distance from a lot of other community vocational program or vocational opportunities for our students.
any other questions? All right, so we're back to the original motion, which was approval of the lease. And we had it, motion moved and seconded, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so any questions on that? And vote, roll call, please.
Don Delaney.
Aye.
Rachel Davies.
Aye.
Robert D'Imperio.
Aye.
Donna Thomas.
Aye.
Richard Mason.
Aye, and that's approved unanimously. Approval of agreement with Johnson Creek School District for early childhood.
For several years now, we've been having a cooperative agreement with Jefferson, or Johnson's Creek to provide early childhood services, and this contract is the 66.0301 agreement to allow that to happen again for the 2017-18 school year.
Motion, please.
I move the board approve the 66.0301 agreement with the Johnson Creek School District for early childhood programming for the 2017-18 school year.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the agreement with Johnson Creek School District for early childhood. Any questions on that? Roll call, please.
Rachel Davies.
Aye.
Robert D'Imperio.
Aye.
Donna Thomas. Dawn Delaney.
Aye.
Richard Mason.
Aye. And that's approved unanimously. All right, approval of salary increase for staff other than professional teaching staff. We decided to table that. So I'll need a motion to that effect.
I move to table item G.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions on that? Roll call, please.
Robert D'Imperio.
Aye.
Donna Thomas.
Aye.
Dawn Delaney.
Aye.
Rachel Davies.
Aye.
Robert D'Imperio.
Aye.
And?
Richard Mason.
Aye. That's approved unanimously. All right, approval of WIAA 217-18 membership renewal.
Even though there's no longer a fee to belong to the WIA, we need to approve this membership renewal each year.
Motion, please.
I move the board approve the WIAA 2017-18 membership renewal.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the membership renewal in the WIAA. Questions, comments?
Who does this new insurance?
The WIA is going to be providing funding so that if a child is suspected of having concussion, that they will cover the copay or any out-of-the-pocket expenses for the family, because they want to ensure that family or students are getting checked when they have a concussion. And I added that to the notes because even though they're going to be providing this additional service, there still is no cost to us. So that's pretty awesome.
And WIA, that just means high school, not middle school? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Donna Thomas.
Aye.
Dawn Delaney.
Aye.
Rachel Davies.
Aye.
Robert D'Imperio.
Aye.
Richard Mason.
Aye, and that passes unanimously. Approval of professional staff resignations.
Unfortunately, we have 3 resignations to bring before you tonight, and I'll read each of those. The first one is from Mr. Joe Clothier. I will not be returning next year. I have accepted a position at Beloit Memorial High School. I have been wanting to get closer to my family and purchasing my grandpa's farm. I truly appreciate everything you and the Lake Mills School District have done for me over the past 3 years. Have a great summer. Mr. Clothier was a PE teacher at the middle school and high school, as well as the head wrestling coach and the head track coach. The next one is from Ms. Amanda Persky. At this time, I am in need of a few personal and professional changes. For this reason, I am resigning from my 4th grade teaching position and coaching responsibilities as head girls track coach. I've enjoyed the past 3 years in Lake Mills and appreciated the opportunity to grow as an educator, coach, and individual. Thank you for entrusting me with the students and athletes of the Lake Mills Area School District. And our final one is from Ms. Lindsay Bauer from the middle school. Please accept my resignation from my position as 7th grade special education teacher at Lake Mills Middle School. I will not be returning for the 2017-18 academic school year. My students, as well as the amazing staff at the middle school, have given me much joy and support over the past 3 years in the district. The students and staff that I have worked with at Lake Mills have become a family and have made the decision to leave Lake Mills one of the most difficult transitions. The administration has been supportive and visible within the building through the years, and I am grateful to have worked with administration who is there to support their staff. I will take all the memories from the years that I have been in the district with me as I move on to the next venture, and will always have gratitude for the opportunities given to me during my time in Lake Mills. I wish you all the best and will always keep Lake Mills in a special place in my heart and mind as I continue in the journey of my career.
Motion, please.
I move the board approve the resignations of Miss Lindsay Bauer, Miss Amanda Persick, and Mr. Joe Clothier, and thank them for their service to the students, families, and community of the Lake Mills Area School District.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the resignations. Questions on those at all? Roll call, please.
Don Delaney.
Aye.
Rachel Davies.
Aye.
Robert Timperio.
Aye.
Donna Thomas.
Aye.
Richard Mason.
Aye, that passes unanimously. Approval of co-curricular resignations.
Again, there's several of these as well. The first one is from Ms. Kaylee Cottrell as the assistant middle school track and field coach, Mr. Steve Murphy as the JV baseball coach, and as I had mentioned, Ms. Amanda Persick as the varsity girls track and field coach.
Motion, please.
I move the board approve the co-curricular resignations for Miss Kaylee Cottrell and as the assistant middle school track and field coach, Mr. Stephen Murphy as the JV baseball coach, and Miss Amanda Persick as the varsity girls track and field coach, and thank them for their dedication to the students of Lake Mills.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve co-curricular resignations. Questions? Roll call, please.
Rachel Davies.
Aye.
Robert Timperio.
Aye.
Donna Thomas.
Aye.
Don Delaney.
Aye.
Richard Mason.
Aye, and that passes unanimously. Approval of professional staff contracts.
Well, even though it's hard to say goodbye to many of the staff that have resigned recently, we have just outstanding, some outstanding young people to bring to you we have a kindergarten teacher, Ms. Holly Norgren, a special education teacher at the elementary school, Ms. Kelly Hagstrom, and then the PE teacher and a girls basketball coach, Brandon Siska. All their materials are attached for your review.
I'll move aboard to approve the following professional staff contracts and welcome them to the Lake Mills Area School District. Ms. Holly Norgren, elementary school kindergarten teacher, Ms. Kelly Hegstrom, elementary school special education teacher, and Mr. Brandon Siska, high school physical education teacher.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the professional staff contracts. Questions? Comments? Roll call, please.
Robert Timperio.
Aye.
Donna Thomas.
Aye.
Don Delaney.
Aye.
Rachel Davies.
Aye.
Richard Mason.
Aye. And that passes unanimously. Approval of support staff
Deleted that one.
that we deleted.
Yep.
All right, next one. Approval of co-curricular letters of assignment.
As I had mentioned, in there you'll see the new varsity girls basketball coach recommendation, Mr. Brandon Siska. Ms. Mary Mess, who's one of our staff members who has worked in selling tickets, is being recommended as the co-activity board chairman. That's the person that coordinates all of the ticket sales at our sporting events. And then our staff member, Mr. Dan Zeski, as the varsity cross-country coach.
Motion, please.
I move the board approve the following co-curricular letters of assignment to Miss Mary Mess as co-activity board chairperson, Mr. Dan Zeski as varsity cross-country coach, and Mr. Brandon Siska as varsity girls basketball coach.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the following, or the co-curricular letters of assignment. Any questions on those? Okay, roll call, please.
Donna Thomas.
Aye.
Don Delaney.
Aye.
Rachel Davies.
Aye.
Robert Timperio.
Aye.
Richard Mason.
Aye, and that passes unanimously. Approval of gifts.
As you can see from the list, many wonderful gifts again this month.
Motion, please.
I move the board accept the following donations and thank the donors for their generous support of our students. $1,000 to the Lake Mills High School soccer program for the Blue Royal Team Shelter from Dr. and Mrs. Steve Fossil. A trumpet to the Lake Mills High School music program with an estimated value of $200 from Mr. Dylan Danielson. Perishable food items to the Lake Mills High School Spanish Club from an anonymous donor with a value of $212 to help raise money for students traveling to Peru and France. The Spanish Club prepared and sold the food items, making a profit of $565.
Second.
Thank you. It's moved and seconded to approve the gifts, and we thank them all. Any questions on those? Roll call, please.
Don Delaney.
Aye.
Rachel Davies.
Aye.
Robert D'Imperio.
Aye.
Donna Thomas.
Aye.
Richard Mason.
Aye, and that passes unanimously. The agenda items for July board meeting.
Well, at the June board meeting, we will definitely talk about the budget. We will talk about the salary increases for all of the groups other than the teaching staff. I will definitely have recommendations for new contracts and letters of assignment. We're in the interview process with several right now, and they'll be finished up in short order. And then moving into July, I am sure that we'll still be hiring some of these that we'll just post right now. And then we'll need to talk about previous
Previous year's budget adjustments for the year that we're just finishing up. Every year, we're supposed to make because if we go over in some areas, we make the annual adjustments, and so we have to do that formally. And then milk bids, now that we're on our own again. Kathy and myself are in the process. We requested bids for our milk program, and we should have those before our July meeting, so we'll have that for approval.
We'll have some handbook items as well. We'll work on that to have the first reading at the June meeting, and then hopefully we can go move right into the approval process at July.
Did you mention the salary increases for staff?
Yes.
Other than,
At the June meeting.
got it. All right. So we need an adjournment to closed session.
Well, I move the board adjourn to executive session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 19.85, Paren 1, Paren C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility.
Oh, second.
Thank you. Second. Roll call, please.
Don Delaney.
Aye.
Rachel Davies.
Aye.
Robert D'Imperio.
Aye.
Donna Thomas.
Aye.
Richard Mason.
Aye, we are now in closed session.